All rise. Veuillez vous lever. The International Criminal Court is now in session. L'audience de la Cour pénale internationale est ouverte. Please be seated. Veuillez vous asseoir.
Thank you very much. Court officer, please announce the case.
Bonjour.
Good morning. Situation in the Republic of Kenya. In the case, the prosecutor against William Samuel Ruto and Joshua Arap Sang. Case number ICC 01090111, and we are in public session.
Thank you very much. Mr. King Katwa, appearances remain the same?
Mr. President, it remains the same, except that I have today with me Mr. Philemon Koech and Gideon Yonge, Mr. President. Thank you.
Mr. President, Your Honours, good morning. The same, except Mr. Fal is not in court today.
Thank you very much. And prosecutor?
Morning, Your Honours. The same as yesterday, save for the presence of Senior Child Attorney Anton Steinberg sitting behind me.
Thank you very much. And Victims' Counsel, Mr. Nuritsetseng?
Good morning, Mr. President, Your Honours. We are the same here.
Thank you very much. We will continue with the examination in chief of the witness. Mr. Garcia, we were in closed session. We ended in closed session yesterday, and you said you will be able to proceed in open today. Is that the case?
Indeed, Your Honours. I'd asked for the indulgence of the court. I looked over the material. I'm still very cautious about proceeding in public with any type of matter that might disclose the identity of the witness. So I just have about 5 minutes to go with the private session, and then I'm confident that we can move in the public session with the use of the PIS, obviously.
Very well. Then we will go into private session for about 5 minutes.
Veuillez vous asseoir.
Nous sommes en audience publique.
We are in public session, Your Honour.
Thank you very much. We're in public session. Now, Mr. Garcia, we can play this video again, as we said, and I see no harm in playing in public session, is there?
There's no objection from the prosecution on that.
Why don't we roll that video from the beginning? How long is it? Sorry.
Now, the extract that the prosecution wanted to play is approximately 4 minutes.
So why don't let's look at that extract.
We can start at timestamp 21:45. The relevant part is until timestamp 24:55 approximately.
And you tell us when you want to stop.
Certainly, Your Honour.
Imeshafika.
Salamu Maria, umejaa neema, Bwana na Yesu mzao wa tumbo lako amebarikiwa. Salamu Maria, umejaa neema, Bwana yu nawe, umebarikiwa kuliko wanawake wote, na Yesu mzao wa tumbo lako amebarikiwa. Atukuzwe Baba na Mwana na Roho Mtakatifu. Tuombe. E Bwana Mungu, utujalie sisi watumishi wako afya ya roho na ya mwili siku zote, na kwa maombezi matukufu ya Maria Mtakatifu Bikira daima, tuokolewe na mashaka ya sasa, tupate na furaha za milele kwa Kristo Bwana wetu. Amen. Kwa jina la Baba na la Mwana na la Roho Mtakatifu. Amen.
Mwanzo wa mwaka Ee Bwana, mkae na sisi watu wako tulioshiriki sakramenti yako takatifu. Utulinde sisi tunaotegemea daima ulinzi wako, hata wakati uwe Baba watu wako unahitaji ulinzi wako, ili kusudi muda wote wa mwaka huu wa 2008 tusipatwe na mafaa.
Thank you very much. Mr. KenyaMOJA.com.
Mr. President, as the video will have shown, it has moved to a point where the mass service is conducted. But what was shown earlier did not include mass service. However, Mr. President, we maintain our position that we have no objection to the production of this document without prejudice to our having to challenge the date it was taken and whatever else we have to challenge on the video, Mr. President.
So the record then will reflect that what you're saying is that the video does indeed show a mass portion. And as you also noticed before, the full video was not played because of the evident distress the witness was suffering at the time she was looking at the video. So the matter is now, as it stands on the record, with Mr. KenyaMOJA.com showing that there was both a rosary part of the video, a rosary saying part of the video, and also a mass. Is that what you're saying?
I confirm, Mr. President and Your Honor.
Thank you.
I'm just wondering, Your Honor, because I sense that the question has not been completely resolved yet, but if when the witness comes back in, we can ask her a question just as to who was celebrating Mass on that evening, and I think that we can see in the extract at 2450 that it's Bishop Courier. Now, if the witness does answer in that sense, would this satisfy the defense, and basically maybe they can change their mind as to a stipulation as to the date this video was taken, to facilitate things?
One thing at a time. First, there will be the question of, now that Mr. KenyaMOJA.com no longer presses the issue that the video concerned rosary, he now agrees that there was a mass on the video. There is a mass on the video as well. So we will take it next step, which is whether the defense will concede who's saying the mass portion of it. Once that is done, the next question is what date the mass was celebrated, or the mass we see on the video. Mr. Kiginkatwa and Ms. Salagendra.
Mr. President, I confirm, or rather, our position is that we do not contest that the person who is presiding over the mass is Bishop Korir. We do not contest that. Unfortunately, Mr. President and the honors, and for the prosecution, that doesn't change our position about, yes, Mr. President.
It doesn't change your position as to the date. That's what you're saying.
It doesn't, Mr. President.
Fair enough. Ms. Alagendra.
Your Honor, if I can just say, from our understanding of that video, it appears to be both dates, 31st and 1st. And towards the end of the video, the bishop, in fact, is making reference to, and this year, 2008. That's what he's saying in Swahili. And we do accept that's Bishop Korir, Your Honor.
What about the other proposition as to the date?
We don't object as long as it's reflected that it's two dates, 31st going into the 1st.
I believe that's consistent with the witness's testimony, isn't it? I see
believe so,
Mr.
Your Honor.
Khan nodding his head.
I believe so, Your Honor.
Fair enough. Why don't we then bring down Mr. Garcia anymore?
I just wanted to be clear on that matter because indeed it is what the witness stated. She said it was the 31st and the 1st. And I understand that there's a stipulation then from the Ruto defense team is Mr. Keaton Kagwa is also making the stipulation so that we can go on to another subject, and I don't need to belabor the point as to the date. I understand the Ruto defense has already done so.
Mr. President, please just allow me to reserve my right to challenge the date.
Fair enough. Mr. Garcia, I believe it looks like that's all you can get out of the defense at this stage.
It seems like, Your Honor, and I'll move on to another subject when the witness does return.
Fair enough. Why don't we then, we will now bring down the blinds and invite the witness back onto the stand and continue from that. Mr. Garcia, back in private session.
I understand, Your Honor, and I see that there are many people in the public gallery, but unfortunately the topics that I'm going to cover need to be elicited during a private session. I'll try to make it as brief as possible so we can get to a portion which we can publicize.
Do you have an indication of how much longer we will be in private session?
I would say 10 minutes, Your Honor, is an estimate.
10 minutes. All right. Let us try and get out sooner than that. But for now, we will bring down the blinds and invite the witness back on and go straight into private session.